Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer action. We're back with some classic Empire versus Dark Elves. Boris the Toddy up in the air here, going to be leading the way. So Boris up on the Pegasus has very high melee defense. Combined with his two debuff aura items, he basically has, over 60 to 70 melee defense, effectively, depending on opponent's leadership. He's also got his own regeneration, so a very tanky flying character. Also got spearmen, swordsmen, some Empire archers here, silver bullets, amethyst wizard, and 3 Knights of the Blazing Sun, supported by a warrior priest. For the Dark Elves here, MORATHI leading the way with a Pharaoh Manticore. We've got some Dark Elf militia, spears and swords mixed, some Witch Elves, 2 Bolt Throwers, K-Knight Assassin, and 2 Scourge Runners, including the ROR, plus the ROR Harpies there. And right off the bat, you can see the Bolt Thrower focus firing, not necessarily focusing, but using the the scatter shot on these archers here, and this is definitely a mistake in my opinion. I mean, these archers, yes, they are a bit of a threat to the Witch Elves, but they're only 350 points, and you can see, I mean, the Knights of the Blazing Sun are within range. They're kind of hanging around right towards the edge of the max range here, but throwing that on the single shot version and trying to take some pot shots at these Knights, trying to pick away some of their unit models. Obviously, they're a lot more of a high-value unit than any of the rest of the Empire units here, so potentially a little bit of a mistake, but we'll see. The Scourge Runners looks like they're shooting at Boris. He'll be able to regenerate that damage and probably dodge some of those shots. You can see, excuse me, some of the shots also going into the archers as well, and some of the state troops, so not the most efficient use of ammunition, but we'll see. This melee engagement about to get underway here. Dark Elves kind of coming off of their hill position, charge downhill and get into these Empire state troops. Beautiful cinematic shot there. Looks like we're going to get a Fade of Buna on those Witch Elves, and then the archers are actually going to focus fire there. Excellent play. Fade of Buna normally doesn't kill a whole lot of unit models, but it damages all of the models in the unit very heavily. Saw that black dragon egg go off there in the back. Pretty good stuff, but yeah, those Witch Elves are pretty much done for very cost effectively. Meanwhile, Knights of the Blazing Sun going to be making their way over. They've already got one charge here, going to be cycling out, cycling in with another unit here. And the prayer buffs as well for this Spearman do mean that they'll be able to tear apart this Manticore very efficiently. Beautiful charge there. Here come the prayer buffs. The Soul Fire as well being dropped, and that bombardment actually does okay damage against the Manticore if it makes contact. Doesn't look like it made contact, but yeah, that melee attack buff, juicing it up, should be able to get some good damage in there. Boris comes in the air, try and take down MORATHI. She throws down a beautiful Pit of Shades, though, and will do quite a bit of damage. Looks like it was, in fact, Overcast. I recently commented that I'm not the biggest fan of Pit of Shades, but something like this, especially getting a high-value unit of cavalry, and those Knights of the Blazing Sun do have a bit of magic resistance, but, no, because what's it called? The Pit of Shades actually pins them in, like it has enough stagger to actually pin those cavalry in that unit. Sorry, kind of pin that cavalry unit, rather, in place. It actually does some pretty good damage, but you can see here Crows of Cain have been dealt with by some Knights of the Blazing Sun. They're also out here charging down some of these filthy Dark Elf militia units. Silver bullets as well, still online, still able to throw a few shots out there in the open field, and the Ravagers of Rakarth, other units now using their ammo a bit more efficiently against some of those Knights, which is definitely the appropriate target, but all-out Warrior Priest goes for the Manticore here. A little bit risky potentially doing this solo, but he gets some good RNG, gets a few hits, and doesn't take too many hits from the Manticore in return, it looks like, so a pretty nice situation there. And then here come the Knights of the Blazing Sun. Oop, nope, looks like they peel away, actually. Not going to go for a full charge there, but this unit of Knights of the Blazing Sun taking that armor-piercing missile fire is going to get routed off. So we'll see. The Manticore, the Warrior Priest, not wanting to stay and fight that Manticore quite wisely for too long. He's going to pull back to get some reinforcements here, and actually kind of drawing it as it's enraged into this area where he's got plenty of reinforcements. He can come in here with the Knights of the Blazing Sun, even like these archers and other units can get in here. Looks like the Knights are actually going to go for a quick hit-and-run charge on that unit of Bleak Swords there, try and shut them down very quickly. The Soulfire, though, coming in, and it looks like the Hammer of Sigmar on the Spearman going to be enough to probably finish off that Manticore. We'll see. Looks like the Warrior Priest also getting in a few hits there. Good stuff. Meanwhile, MORATHI's just kind of been flying around, trying to avoid Boris. Boris actually, with his speed debuff, would be able to catch her, but the Dark Elf player here has been very efficient with using this K-Knight Assassin to debuff Boris's speed so that he can't actually catch her. Of course, he has that poison on that little hand crossbow that he carries, so you can see him consistently applying that to Boris, keeping that Assassin's trophy up as well, so that if Boris tries to drop down to take out the Assassin in melee, or to, you know, battle Morathi or whatever, just a very nice kind of debuff to have in this situation. But taking an overarching look here, things are turning against the Dark Elves a little bit as just most of their supporting troops are done for. Still have the artillery online, which is nice. Been able to use up just about all the ammunition there. But let's check in. No chevrons on either unit, so they mostly have just been taking down low-value infantry and honestly don't have that many kill totals to begin with. So maybe that's not the best, but the Crows of Cain come in here, they get taken out. The Chariots might be able to clean up a lot of this infantry in this late game, but a lot of it depends on Morathi and how healthy she is. The Spirit Leeches in this late game situation are going to be kind of consistently hitting her, but likewise she's got Soul Stealer to try and heal herself up, though she did throw a lot of magic into that Overcast Soul Stealer. You can see, this is what I'm talking about, you can see Morathi's speed gets debuffed ever so slightly, and Boris comes in to try and get a hit. But the K-Knight Assassin hits him, and then his speed goes down to 79, right? So he can't actually catch up with her. So nice use of that K-Knight Assassin there to make sure Boris can't catch up with Morathi. But will it be enough? That Spirit Leech is going to continue to poke away at her while the ranged attack pokes away at Boris. And the Chariots are doing their best work trying to clean up this infantry kind of force here. There are a few Knights of the Blazing Sun, though, that can come in with that massive charge bonus, get in here, and just absolutely do some great burst damage. those shots from the bolt thrower as well, doing some decent work in this kind of little infantry blob right here. But a lot of the Empire's power is actually in these three characters, of course. Boris, the Warrior Priest, and the the Amethyst Wizard, all counting for a lot on the balance power. And Boris getting some good hits here on this Chariot model as it kind of pulls around. Of course, since Morathi's zoned out, she doesn't really want to come fight Boris necessarily. Without the debuffs and stuff active, he's free to then kind of take advantage. And he looks like he pops up into the air. Is he going to get a few hits? Gets a good hit there. Only one or two more hits would actually take Morathi out, but again, Morathi pulls away there. K-Knight Assassin speed debuff too much for Boris, and he looks like a tiny slip up. Is this going to be enough? Will Morathi actually get taken out here? Looks like she starts to win that combat somewhat, but she is taking some significant hits there. Yeah, Boris though, very RNG dependent, but it looks like a clutch Spirit Leech there. Should be finishing off Morathi. We'll see. Boris going to pull away as that Assassin's Trophy is active on him. But the Warrior Priest, the Empire State Troop Spearmen staying true. Even a few archers here in the late game as well, able to finish off the Scourge Runner Chariot, the Ravagers of Rakarth, the one Ravager of Rakarth Chariot that's left here. Still trying to do its best work, but not long for this world. That Black Dragon Egg coming through, going to do a tiny bit of damage. Really doesn't do much. I don't typically find myself bringing it because I don't think it's worth the gold. But yeah, once this Chariot goes down, the Warrior Priest chasing after the K-Knight Assassin. We'll do a little bit of fast forwarding as they're in some shenanigans as this game kind of gets cleaned up here. The Bolt Thrower crews get cleaned up. Morathi desperately trying to stay away from Boris, but eventually the K-Knight Assassin actually runs out of ammo here, and so then there's no way for her to actually stay ahead of Boris because she can't stay faster than him. He's going to catch up and deal some swift justice with some buffs from the ground, from the prayers. Morathi goes down, and the K-Knight Assassin is going to turn tail and run. So a very fun game. Big thanks. I believe it was Faust that submitted this one. I guess we'll see here in just a moment. But yeah, Faust. Big thanks to Faust for submitting that one. Very, very fun game. And excellent use of Boris there. And on Pacifist Warlord's side, I really like the use of the K-Knight Assassin to kind of help keep Morathi safe from Boris specifically. It was honestly a very, very close game in the end game there. I really just think that from Pacifist Warrior's side, as I mentioned kind of at the beginning, using the Bolt Thrower's ammunition a little bit more efficiently against the Cav, I think, might have made the difference. You can see there's just a handful of tattered Cav units here in the late game. Had they been gone and hadn't done quite so much damage, throughout the course of the battle, maybe this army holds up a little bit better. But still ended up being very close. The Witch Elves are a little bit of a rough pick as well. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with the pick in this matchup. It's very strongly. But at the same time, I mean, Witch Elves, they're vulnerable to cheap Empire skirmishers. They're vulnerable to open field charges from high shock units like all of the units of knights, so they can be a little bit of a risk here to bring. They ended up getting a little bit pancaked in this matchup, but definitely excellent work done with the Scourge Runner chariots. On the flip side here, just nice kills spread all across the board. I didn't mention that great sword, but they did kind of get eaten up a little bit there, but not before racking up 76 kills. 72 for these Knights of Blazing Sun, 83 there, so some very good stuff. Boris helping to banish the Witch, and 51 kills for the Amethyst Wizard, which is not bad at all, considering, you know, he doesn't have any real AoE damage spells. He's just kind of getting most of those in melee, and from a few Fates of Buna, of course. But, yeah, very fun stuff. Always fun to cast Empire Community Cast, so big thanks once again. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.